One day before its debut, and you're still missing the depth in my eyes. Arctic pools, Layla, Arctic pools. Purity is acceptable for a typical Hamptons hobnob. It's sorely inadequate for a future presidential candidate. So we will be adding handheld metal detectors and X-ray scanners at all the entrances.
Unhand my painting this instant.
Pay no mind to the lady of the house, gentlemen, as you were.
What do you think you're doing? I was under the impression that you had at least a few more months before dementia kicked in.
Charming. Maintaining stables, our yacht you've suddenly grown fond of again actually cost money. Auctioning off one of the pieces from your collection this afternoon will keep us afloat for June.
Oh, and when, pray tell, will you be sacrificing your Ferrari?
We can discuss that in July. Unless, of course, you suddenly found our stolen millions.
July it is.
Ironic that my wife is the only woman in this family who doesn't care about me.
I was always drawn to the Old Testament God, the one who avenges. If you sinned, you paid a price. That seemed fair to me.
No, I prefer to believe that forgiveness washes away all sins.
Maybe, but not their consequences. I believe you have to answer for those. If we refuse, then we all deserve to burn in hell.
I don't know what I deserve. I've always deemed karma a concept created to lift the spirits of the unaccomplished, but recent events have given me pause. You haven't been truly invested in our family, this marriage since David Clarke. So why don't you think about it this way? You see, by turning myself in, I'm not only clearing his name for Charlotte, but for you as well, my dear. So that you can finally have your true love back. Dead as he may be.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
You are my guardian angel, Emily. Lord knows where I'd be without you. You do realize it's a power play, son.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I presume you don't consider my marriage a paragon of excellence, but the thing that's kept the fire lit all these years is that we know how to fight, but not surrender. Now, you go to Emily now and you are admitting defeat. I realize now what Father Paul meant when he said that he'd been brought back into my life through divine intervention. I mean, he was God's vessel to show me that I'm meant to live a long and meaningful existence here on earth. And Father Paul is now doubtless in heaven, having earned his wings.
Well, maybe he's laughing at you because you had to step down as governor for naught. I know I certainly am.
Well, being governor merely distracted me from my true destiny, leading this family. And so the first step is reclaiming my rightful position as master of this house. Are you writing a letter to Patrick, your natural-born killer?
It's that smug smirk I'm going to miss the least after we've converted our money and I have left you for good.
Now, there's an action that may compel me to hire some folks to go looking for your boy.
Excuse my confusion, Conrad. But are you threatening Patrick to keep me by your side?
You know, I believe I am. You see, contrary to what they say, the secret to staying happily married is secrecy. I don't want to cheat on my wife. That's what I'm afraid of, Daniel. Look, I'm going to put this to you as my father put it to me when he first brought me here. Do not marry your mistress. Emily is your perfect match. So if you get bored, you know, switch paramours, not wives. For one thing, it's far more cost-effective. I mean, not that affairs are cheap.
No good ever comes from dredging up the past, especially ours.
Well, as difficult as it may be for either of us to remember, my dear, we've had some good times.
Well, that would call into question your definition of good. And now he's marrying that charlatan.
This again. Listen, after your little stunt at Emily's bridal luncheon, you are one loosely veiled speech away from the loony bin reeling in Victor.
I was showing him the truth.
Just let him be. Your other son became a murderer after only 6 months with you. You know, the time has come for you to stop this foolish interfering.
What could possibly be so important as to require my presence in your bedroom?
Well, our son is getting married tomorrow, and since I have no clue as to what color my date will be wearing, I don't know if I should go for the pearl or the bone, which would keep us from clashing.
No tie in the world could accomplish that. I must admit that you definitely earned what's coming to you.
Because I already have no family.
And I'm sure their absence is amplified on a day such as this. So please don't think me presumptuous when I hope that you might find me as adequate recompense.
I do, Conrad. And I know my father would share my feelings for you if he was still alive. I just want this day to be perfect. From start to finish.
I'm going to quash my understandable resistance to embrace one son of yours if you're willing to muster the love to support the other.
If you think I'm going to be blackmailed by your collusion with
You're
that...
right.
When Conrad reaches out, beware of what's in his hand.
I approached with open palm, Victoria.
If anything should happen to Patrick, understand this, Conrad. They will be wiping what's left of you up with a sponge.
Well, I guess now's the time to tell you all that I've invited someone to join us on our family sojourn. My guest has flawless skin, no touch-up needed. Oh, well, maybe your honeymoon, sweetheart, but still my yacht.
And mine. Vacationing with your harlot is where I draw the line.
Need I remind you of our deal, Victoria? If you want me to welcome Patrick back into the fold, you'll do the same for my companion.
You duplicitous...
Victoria.
Ooh, your confidence is woefully misplaced, Victoria. You lack an alibi to substantiate your claims. And hiding from your lawyer instead of offering anything plausible reeks of guilt. You're certainly behaving like someone incapable of murder. But I do look forward to your performance on the stand, my dear. I've always enjoyed a good farce.
Oh, I won't be framing Lydia. You will.
Well, now you can add delusional to the list. Why would I consent to that? You're serious?
It's a terrible feeling betraying someone you love. I'm so pleased that you finally get to experience the sensation yourself.
So do you have any idea what you cost me? Daniel, I just allowed myself to believe that life could be something other than gray and cold. How very noble for you. It's more than you would have ever done. Have you lost your damn mind? But if that's the case, the next time you find yourself in need of salvation, may I suggest that you drop to your knees and you pray, because from here on, your only hope will be divine intervention from the Heavenly Father himself, because your earthly father is finished with you!
Who loved me.
Sarah.
Well, there's no accounting for taste.
You were marvelous last night, Mrs. Grayson. Until our next rendezvous. And I regret the way I handled things back then and would like this chance to make my sincere amends.
But there's one problem. I'm happy now.
Why don't you give that time? It always changes.
I had an inspiration for what you could wear to the opera. I had it overnighted by the designers.
You're friends with Dolce & Gabbana?
I have many friends.
Well, I recently had dinner with Domenica. Your name didn't come up.
Oh, really? Well, I'm trying not to give people reasons to talk about me.
Your charms won't work on me, Pascal. Oh, maybe I should try on that gown. The designers are friends of mine after all, and I wouldn't want to offend.
I knew you couldn't resist.
Well, fine art's meant to be displayed.
And appreciated.
Keep your distance, Pascal. This dress may touch my body, but you'll never be so lucky.
But we both know few sounds are sweeter than the crumbling of your fellow man. Or were the photographs of Oscar's dead body not enough to compel you?
If you're so eager, why don't you take care of Pascal yourself?
I don't even get my hands dirty when driving. Unless, like Oscar Chapman, you want to flee and live your life as a woman. You're certainly acting like one.
Haunted by things we did in our past.
And what were those, pray tell?
Trevor Morris, David Clarke.
Oh, those are your ghosts, Pascal, not mine.
I want to move on. Don't you want the same?
I want what I've always wanted. To win at any cost. Or do you need me to be more specific?
Yes, I do.
Let's try this. Sometimes, to thrive, you need to do the unexpected.
Why aren't you arresting him?
For what, my dear? As I was telling the detective, Pascal wanted to talk, and I offered him a ride to the Hamptons. He stepped back, and I tried to warn him, but it was too late.
You can't believe a word he says.
The pilot corroborates his story. It's a damn tragedy.
The naive deserve two things, swindling and scorn. That's what you always say, isn't it? If you don't have the guts to admit what you did to my real father, I'll tell the police. You disgust me.
And you, my dear, are an ungrateful bastard. My love for you was so profound that I was going to confess to everything to save your life. You know what? No longer. No. And you're not going anywhere.
You have no power over me.
No, I have the power to take you out anytime I want! I had to reach to snuff out your nuisance of a sister. I was in league with a confederacy of global terrorists who tried to bring me down, but I'm still here. And your father, the selfish and dim-witted David Clarke, he was my patsy to freedom. Oh, I have the power, and my secrets are gonna rot inside of you beyond your last breath because you are gonna keep your stupid and thankless mouth shut! I'm the last man standing for a reason. And if you even think about crossing me, I will erase you as I have so many others.
The authorities will be arriving any minute.
Well, I won't waste my energy throwing you out.
Well, there will be many conversations where I'm going, and do not think that I won't pull each skeleton from your closet for the feds to pick over everything. I mean, from killing Helen Crowley all the way through to being my #1 co-conspirator.
Prove it.
Well, as usual, I'll have others do that for me.
Bye, Conrad. Do rot in hell.
You did this.
Yes, in memory of David and Amanda Clarke.
What about Victoria?
Oh, I'm not finished yet.
Well, then, Godspeed.